The DeGears may look like a typical Minnesota family, but they share something special.
Between the four of us, we have now hit 100 years of service.
That century of service contained multiple deployments, occasionally at the same time.
It was kind of surreal because you never really think you'd be serving, at the same time. Now, we weren't on the same base, but we got to meet 3 times down in Kandahar, and we got a picture of it where we were standing, and it was pretty cool.
So that was a little bit of a tough, because then you had 2 families you had to, Brandy was at home with the kids, and Dad was, obviously at the farm.
I live down by Echo, Minnesota, and I own 40 acres down there, but I have 31 miniature Hereford cow-calf operation. I also own 145 acres up by Starbuck. And so when I was gone, Jean, my wife, had to take care of all that. She was happy when I got back because she didn't have to feed the hay to the cows out in the bitter cold anymore, but it's stressful on the families at home. Very stressful.
Because they both serve, Brandy and Jeremy have a unique understanding of that stress that weighs on a military spouse. But they've found a way to make it work.
We've been married almost 12 years now. In those 12 years, we've spent a lot of time apart. Our wedding was done while Ken was on a deployment, and we celebrated our 10-year anniversary kind of in between deployments. We met up in Kuwait, had about a 15-minute moment where we got to spend some time together. I got to pin on his lieutenant colonel. He gave me my anniversary gift, and we kissed and hugged, and he went up to Iraq, and I came home. Another one that comes to mind is when I was training to get ready to go on my last deployment at Fort Hood, Texas. There was a embarrassing bouquet of flowers that got delivered to me in the middle of a briefing in front of the general. It was huge. He made it a very big deal, and it was, I want to say it was, again, for our anniversary.
Me personally, I focus on letter writing, and we constantly are in communication, so she and I talk quite frequently, even though it's oceans apart. It's a traditional longhand letter and social media, etc. So we have a very strong family network.
That strong family network is following in each other's footsteps, and that's something they're proud of.
Oh, extremely proud. They've had their bumps along the roads, but both of them done well. Along with Brandy, I couldn't be a prouder dad than, having 2 sons and a daughter-in-law in the military.
I think it's awesome. It added some new dimensions to family relationships in the generations that have served before me and my family. In seeing that pride in my kids as they're coming up and they're talking about the potential of serving, there's an immense sense of pride in being able to share it across so many family members.
And for this family, the sacrifice to serve has been well worth it.
It's the strength, it's the gratitude, and for me, the word humility, humbleness. You just get to see and experience different opportunities wearing the uniform, where it gives you that perspective of how many blessings you have in your life.
What makes it worth the sacrifice is the people to the right and to the left of you. You get to develop friendships. You get to meet some pretty colorful people that have had, some really cool stories to meet, to talk about. So a lot of the guys that I were with in 13 Fox, we came up together through the ranks, and they just all retired as well, too. And so we all get to talk about what we did.
Talk about what they did and reminisce, just like veterans on a baseball team.
Yeah, it definitely is a baseball team, but only a different shade of green.
This weekend at Target Field, we are tipping our caps to those who served our country. We acknowledge their sacrifice with heartfelt appreciation, because it's families like the DeGears who share something special, not only with each other, but with all of Twins territory.
It's kind of, almost 180, I guess, or 360, however you want to say it, because, it was a big part of my life growing up, baseball was. And so we'd pile in their 1980 Chevy Impala, and drive down and go to the Dome, and we'd get tickets up in the cheap seats, and then we'd sit there and we'd eat Dome dogs and other things like that. And so it's pretty touching that this is happening.
I think it's very neat, and I feel honored being picked to do this. You know, who would have thought a small town kid from Minnesota would be, you know, doing this, and here I am.